I'm going to be blunt. Nutrition is one of the most important factors when it comes to hypertraining. And listen, there's already thousands of videos that go over what foods to take, what supplements to buy, and how to balance your macros. This video is not that. Instead, I want to talk about mindset, why it's important to fuel with enough calories, why avoiding alcohol and junk matters more than you think, and how what you directly eat affects your performance. This video is very base level, no charts, no data. I just want to cover a few mindsets, habits, and concepts that every athlete should acknowledge way before spending money on supplements and counting macros. Whether you're a beginner or years into training, I assure you will find benefit from this video, and down the road, I'll dive deeper into these topics individually. If you're new to endurance but come from bodybuilding, you might think nutrition is not that big a deal. In my opinion, bodybuilding, you can kind of get away with eating almost anything and still push through your lift, versus endurance training, whole different ballgame. What you eat can either enhance or hold back your training. The scary part is when you are new to endurance training, you might not even notice that you're being underfueled. You'll feel sluggish, unmotivated, and feel like your workouts just aren't clicking. And instead of blaming food, you blame your fitness. Some people say sports fuel is placebo, but research shows otherwise. What you eat the day before, or even 1 hour before your workout, can make a huge difference of how your workout feels. And it can be the difference between finishing strong or hitting a wall halfway through. Gels, one of the most overlooked tools. They're simple, effective, and make a massive difference on long runs or rides. Caffeine, one of the most researched performance boosters. Don't abuse it, but when safe for long sessions or a race day, it works. Sleep. You can eat perfectly, but if you're not sleeping enough, it won't matter. Sleep is when your body repairs, adapts, and actually benefits from your training. Another overlooked factor, plain old water. Not just during training, but throughout the day. A study in endurance cycling showed that staying hydrated improves performance by about 2% in 1 to 2 hour workouts, and 3% in workouts over 2 hours. That sounds small, but when you're pushing your limits, 2 to 3% is the difference between hitting your pace or falling apart. So make hydration a daily habit. Now let's talk eating clean. If you're looking to improve your diet, don't try to overhaul everything at once. One trick I like to use is removing one item at a time. For example, if you've got a sweet tooth, promise yourself you won't eat chocolate. You can eat anything else, but chocolate is off the table. At first it's tough, but eventually your body stops craving it. And then you move on from chocolate and you start adding more items which are completely off the table. Let's say chips or McDonald's, and then one by one, you start removing things that drag you down. The beauty of this is that you still have alternatives, and you're not completely restricting everything. Step by step, you're getting a cleaner diet and you're not forcing it, so it feels more achievable. And by the time you realize, you'll have a clean diet and then your cravings will just disappear. All right, one of my secrets that I used to do before my long runs is I would drive my route and stash bananas and Gatorades behind trees about every 5 kilometers. This way I didn't have to carry everything, but I still stayed fueled. It took an extra 15 minutes before my runs, but honestly it was worth every second. A common mistake, mixing up underfueling with overtraining. Now, many athletes will think that they can't handle the extra mileage, but in reality, they're just underfueling, especially electrolytes. Now, overtraining does exist, and I did learn the hard way this past summer. Just a few months ago, I fractured my 5th metatarsal after running a marathon. The year before, I had completed a 12-hour, 100-kilometer ultra, and I didn't even get injured. I was running anywhere between a marathon to 60 kilometers every other weekend, and not once did I break down. Fast forward a year, my running mileage has decreased substantially since I shifted my training to triathlons. And so my bodies were just no longer used to this heavy mileage. And that's why I got a stress fracture in my foot. Lesson is, listen to your body, make sure you fuel properly, and progress your mileage in accordance with your training plan. And look, you can probably manage your workouts and runs without listening to any of these tips, but you need to ask yourself, do you want to give it your all or just half-ass it? Speaking from experience, I highly recommend and suggest that you give it your all from the start. It's those small consistencies stacked up over time which create the benefit. Now you can go ahead, like I said, ignore these factors, but I promise you your progress will be slowed down. And eventually, once you hit that plateau, you're going to ask yourself, why is it that those people that started at the same time as you are still improving while you're just remaining at the same spot? You never know where your future will take you, so you don't want to rob your future self of the progress that you could be making today. So if you take away one thing from this video, let it be this. Nutrition for hypertraining is not about chasing perfection. Instead, it's about respecting food, sleep, hydration, and recovery as the fuel which lets you actually do the work. Your workouts are only as good as what you put in your body. These small, overlooked habits can make a bigger difference than any fancy diet plan.